Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, fellow members of the Harvard community, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the 2012 Arab World Conference of the Harvard Arab Alumni Association. I am Mona Hamami, Senior Manager at the Office of Strategic Affairs of Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince Court, and also a graduate of Harvard Kennedy School's MPID class of 2003. It is my honor and privilege to be actually participating in this conference as a co-chair for this year, with the conference having its 7th year this year. We're holding this conference in a time of profound change, and it's only fitting for us to have the theme, Making Sense of Changes, Global Challenges and Opportunities for the Arab World. We're most fortunate to have with us a long list of distinguished speakers for our keynote addresses, the plenary, and 4 panels. Our program will cover areas in the economy, philanthropy and social entrepreneurship, energy security, art and political change, and last but not least, the role of evolving technology in the Arab society. To join me in welcoming you to the conference, I'd like to introduce the conference co-chair, Dr. Kamal Shehadeh. Kamal is the Senior Vice President of Regulatory Affairs at Etisalat Group. He holds a PhD in International Political Economy from Columbia University, a BA in Economics with honors from Harvard College, and is also a board member of the Harvard Arab Alumni Association, a member of the Harvard Club of Lebanon, and a member of the Harvard Society of the UAE. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Kamal Shehadeh.
Good morning. Your Excellency, Dr. Anwar Gargash, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ministers for Federal National Council Affairs, distinguished guests, friends, and members of the extended Harvard family. I welcome you to the 7th Annual Arab World Conference organized by the Harvard Arab Alumni Association. I would like to welcome you to the United Arab Emirates and to Abu Dhabi in particular. We're very happy to host this conference here in Abu Dhabi. You've come from all 4 corners of the earth to attend this conference, to participate in the Arab World Conference. And I'm sure that at some point, before you made your decision, you asked yourself the question, why should I bother to attend? Why are you here? And even I had to ask myself that question when I was first asked to chair or co-chair this conference. Why are we having an Arab World Conference? Now, from a conceptual point of view, I have to admit, I find it difficult to think of a world other than the one that we live in and calling it the Arab world. I was taught there is one world, but the challenge was not a geographic one. It was something else. Don't get me wrong. I'm very proud of my Arab identity, very proud of the rich history, the rich culture, and the proud history that we share. But there must be reasons for why we come to the Arab World Conference, other than that. Probably come here because we are expecting to learn something new, and yes, it's true, we look forward to many of our distinguished speakers. We learned something important today, and I look forward to that. We probably come here as well to do the usual thing that Harvard graduates are taught to do, which is to network. In fact, one of our own invented social networking, or raise it to a whole new level, Mark Zuckerberg, and he's laughing all the way to the bank today. But many of us here come to meet new friends and to reconnect with old friends. But that's not enough. The challenge comes in putting a conference together when you have to think about what are the issues, the challenges that the Arab world, that the different Arab countries face together. And it is these issues that will help define our agenda for the rest of the day. You have before you a very rich program, but I wanted to start by bringing back to mind some of the big questions that I think we face in the Arab region. And I think it is in fact the raison d'etre of the Arab World Conference to provide for a span of a few hours the space to deliberate, to discuss some of these big questions that Arab societies face in an intellectually honest manner and in a creative manner. Arab countries face a number of economic challenges. The questions that come to mind: will the economic opportunities improve? Will the living conditions improve? Can the middle class in Arab countries aspire for a better tomorrow? Will we see more people rise out of poverty? Will there be a genuine effort for economic reforms and not just the kind of cosmetic reforms where international institutions and donors can just check a list of requirements? So will there be genuine reforms as opposed to cosmetic reforms? And if Arab countries are able to answer these questions in the affirmative, then the region's economic prospects will be bright and we can hope for a better future. If, however, the answer is negative, unfortunately, we will be staring at another lost decade, and I hope we don't get to that. Just as urgently, some Arab countries are undergoing fundamental political transformation. And it's not yet clear what the outcome of these transformations will be, whether there is an end state, a stable equilibrium. Will the emerging political systems be more responsive to the needs of their citizens, more representative, more transparent? Will the countries that have started down the path of democracy become stable, effective, constitutional democracies? Or will they degenerate into failing states? One man, one vote, one time. We were scheduled to hear today from Dr. Ghassan Salami, His Excellency Dr. Ghassan Salami, the Dean of the School of International Affairs for Paris University of Paris. Unfortunately, due to the sudden death and tragic death of the president of Sciences Po, Dean Salami had to stay in Paris to tend to urgent business. However, this conference will go on and it will address many of these questions. I don't think we'll ever be able to cover all these questions, but just like in any university course that you've attended, you will get more questions and you get answers. This conference will address many of these issues, but I invite you to stay for the afternoon sessions for the panels that my colleague Dr. Munna just mentioned. Panels on arts and culture and the Arab Spring, on philanthropy in the Arab world, on sustainable development and energy, and on information and communication technologies, and whether we will be able to bridge this internet gap, this information gap. Let me stop here and conclude by thanking some of the key people who made this possible. I'd like to thank, first of all, the Arab World Conference's exclusive conference sponsor, Etisalat, for hosting us in Abu Dhabi. I'd like to thank the Harvard Arab Association's platinum sponsors, Abrash Capital, Booz & Company, Saudi Telecom, and Bank Audi. And I'd like to thank their gold sponsor, McKinsey, as well as the special media sponsor for this conference, Bloomberg Television. But I want to thank in particular our excellent roster of speakers, chief among them, His Excellency Dr. Anwar Gargash, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, for accepting our invitation to give the keynote speech. His Excellency Dr. Gargash got his PhD from Cambridge, England, not the Cambridge around Harvard Square. But Your Excellency, we're all honored that you are here with us. And please accept my apologies if some of my colleagues seem a bit nervous. You see, we've been told many times that John Harvard, after he emigrated from England to move to North America and settled in Boston, took with him a stack of books from Cambridge University, which he used to endow the university which today carries his name. And honestly, you don't blame my colleagues. Some of them are worried you are here to collect these books or charge us some hefty overdue fine. But we're really looking forward to your comments, and I welcome you among us, and I welcome all of you. But I want to thank the rest of you, the rest of the audience here, the participants, and I hope this will be a very interactive conference today. And I'd like to thank you for being here with us. Finally, I'd like to thank the team that's made this conference possible. Any conference of this size takes months to prepare, and it's always the result of coordinated teamwork. I have been very lucky to work with an exceptional group of people at the Harvard Arab Alumni Association. And I want to thank, first of all, Dr. Mona Hamami, the conference co-chair, who more than anyone else shaped the agenda for this conference and has given all the energy that anyone can muster to make it possible, to make it succeed. I'd also like to thank the board who've given me their trust and supported me in putting this conference together. In particular, I'd like to thank Shahm Al-Wird, Shahm, the Harvard Arab Alumni Association's tireless, inspiring, but outgoing president, Ahmed Laham, the vice president, Ahmed Al-Jaili, the treasurer, and Sana Sukkar Halabi, the manager. And I'd like to thank the wonderful team of panel shepherds, Yalda Aukar, Dina Shakir, Sharbil Sarkis, and Lara Satrakian, all of whom took time from their very busy schedules to prepare this conference. Their dedication to Harvard and the values for which it stands are an inspiration to many, and it's that inspiration which we hope to communicate to all of you by the end of the day. Thank you very much for being here.